Hello everyone, welcome to the Maker's Wardrobe. My name is Kathy Rose, and here we're going to talk about tips on full bust adjustments today and sizing. My goal is to share my journey with you so you can be inspired and you can learn from me, I can learn from you. Leave a comment down below if you've ever tried a full bust adjustment or if you've ever had issues with sizing and picking, the right patterns for your size, because that's what we're going to cover today. So for the past, I want to say, oh my God, maybe 2-3 weeks, I've been working on the same pattern. It's this one. Oh my goodness. First, I tried cutting out the size 18. Let me see if I can kind of get here the measurements on the size 18. And to be honest, even though they're close, the bust measurement is close to mine. It's the bust measurement. It wasn't right, y'all. The waist was really off by 4 inches. And then the hips are off for me by about 2.5 inches. And at first I was like, okay, great. I can just do some minor adjustments. It wasn't working. It just wasn't working. The second time I tried it, I used my high bust, which is a 37. And that just came all kinds of crazy. Even with me trying to add to the waist, which is, way off for me, and with the hips. Finally, after all that, 2 things occurred to me. One, I need to start over. I just need to start over with a different size. That was one. The second thing that occurred to me was maybe I was just going about this all wrong. And that's when I decided to do a little research and find out how to do a full bust adjustment. Now, before I even go into that, let's talk a little bit about sizing and picking the right size. Now, it is possible to get a pattern that has various cup sizes, as in this one has, it says A, B, and then C, D cup size. One of the things I found out was that usually if you buy a pattern, well, the average pattern, let's say the big 4, which is McCall, Simplicity, Vogue, Butterwick, they're basically sized for a B cup. Well, I'm a D cup. So using a pattern that doesn't have this kind of thing on it, more than likely you're going to have to do a full bust adjustment. That was the first thing. The second thing I took a look at when I decided and these are the same patterns here, but they're different sizes. So I'm going to put it this way. So I've got let's see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. So I do have a 6 through 14 and then a 14 to 22. Well, for me, I would need this size range just for the top of the dress right here and even across here. But for my bust line, waist, hip, I would definitely need this part of the pattern. And I would have to grade the pattern. So getting rid of this one, these would actually suit me better. And the way you find that out, if you were doing this for yourself, is if you look at the pattern envelope here at the back, it should have the sizes. So you have your bust, waist, hip, back, waist length. The sizes are up here, and here are the measurements right in here. So you could kind of tell if you were to do, and the other piece about about the FBA, the full bust adjustment. If you were to look at a pattern, let's say, let's take this again. So my high bust is actually a 37. It's between the 36 and the 38. So I'd have to decide, do I want to go down to the 14 or do I want to use the 16? For me, myself, I feel a little bit more comfortable using the 16. And then if I had to make any adjustments here, I could always, take off a little bit right here, adjust the sleeve or whatever, you know, but it would still give me a really good fit across this part of the bodice. All right. So that was the first thing I had to do. I had to decide on a better fit, a better pattern size. So that being said, I went with, instead of using the 18 and kind of struggling to do all, you know, the adjustments and stuff. And you can see here, I put my solution was to go with that size 10, which would give me what I needed across here and the neckline, and then go ahead and adjust for the waist and hip. That being said, it's a big jump from a 10 to an 18. I would have to use for the waist and hip actually the size 18 with some added adjustment. In order for this to fit my hips, I need another 2.5 inches. And in order for this to fit my waist, I need another 4 inches. That's where grading the pattern really comes in handy, because I can go ahead and cut that size 10 and then go ahead and just kind of make a line down the pattern to the 18 for the waist and hip, and then add some for what I need. And so let me show you what that looks like. That, I'm not sure if I can show you the whole, let's see here. Can I make this any? Okay, you guys, I had to kind of readjust here so I could get the pattern to show you what that looks like. So what that basically looks like, I closed the dart, the size 10, and I drew a line from the 10 all the way out to that size 18. I did still have to add, and I'm going to turn this way. This poor pattern, it's been through some things with me using it, but and that's quite a bit. But this all includes the adjustments that I've made. So I did add a little bit more, plus the full bust adjustment that I made. This pattern actually has a full bust adjustment on it already, which is right here. And you can see where I kind of actually moved the dart. The original dart was pretty low, and I drew a box, cut it out, and moved the dart up. And this is the dart that's been moved up. These are the lines for the full bust adjustment that I did, which once I cut this out in the fabric, should be pretty good. Okay, so that being said, I will say this. I still made a mistake here. Now, here's what I did wrong. I didn't take into consideration that this full bust adjustment would have been adding in some extra ease into, or extra fabric, extra room into the pattern. So much so that now it's probably a lot bigger, as you can see when I put this over the side here. If I line up the center fronts, it's a lot. It's a lot more than I would actually need at this point. So I need to, at this juncture, I'll tell you what, retrace the front again, go ahead and do the bust adjustment, but this time I only will probably need to add about a 1/2 inch or so instead of as much as I added before, because the full bust adjustment, the one that I've made here, is actually giving me 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches on each side, that's a whole 3 inches added to the pattern. So this is bound to be too big. So I'm just going to have to redo it. So that's where I think I kind of went wrong. So it's been 3 weeks working on the same dress and the same top. Actually, a little bit more than 3 weeks, because this was a project I picked up and put it down. I picked it up and put it down. And now I'm like, okay, let's go with it. And I'm having a whole bunch of issues with the fitting. I don't know. At some given point, I know I should really just, you know, take the fabric, which I love this fabric. It's such a pretty floral print. Take this fabric, and I'm probably just going to use a different pattern. But for right now, I don't know. I haven't given up yet. I haven't given up in trying to get this to fit properly. When do you think is a good time? Have you ever worked on something and then you're like, okay, look, at this point, you know, I just have to stop. It has really kept me from working on other projects that I've had. I've just been working on this one for a really long time. But I'm hoping with the adjustments that I'm about to make, I'll be able to do a lot better job. All right, that being said, I also wanted to do a little bit of a catch-up and show you some of the things that I went out. I did purchase some more patterns this week, actually earlier today, that I wanted to share. So it is, I know it's August, but pretty soon, before we, you know, think about it, there's going to be snow on the floor. Yes, there is. I know sometimes we don't want to think about that, but yeah, it is coming. And I saw these were on sale today at Joann's. It's the Vogue patterns were on sale. Some of the butterick patterns were on sale, and I'll show you those as well. And I just picked it up, Vogue V8346 coat pattern. I've been wanting to do a coat pattern for myself for a while, and I figured, hey, you know what? This might be an opportunity to really get in there and make one. I also picked up a butterick pattern, 6793. That really looks like something I would hopefully not have the same kind of fitting issues and be able to make that. Picked up another butterick pattern. This just looked really nice, like really comfortable, casual. I could definitely see myself going to work in something like that. You can see the back of it. Okay. I like to look at the back of patterns because what I'm looking for is the style lines, because that usually helps me to see if it's something that'll be a little simpler to do in terms of what I just got through doing there and talking about adjustments and shortening. I'm 4'11", so there's no way I'm gonna buy one of these and, you know, just off the cuff it's gonna fit me and the length is going to be perfect. Even the ones and the patterns that I showed you earlier are both petite. I still have to do some work on those to get the right length. So this one, 6494, and this one is a butterick. Got a Vogue. This I've actually been looking at for a while, y'all. I'm so glad it went on sale. I've been looking at this dress. I just think this is such a gorgeous pattern. And finally, I can walk away without getting at least one vintage pattern. And this, I really liked the blouse. This, and I'm not sure, sometimes the drawing doesn't really give you what the full scope of it is. I'm not sure if this is really an A-line, but if it is, that would be great. So it's cut like, you see how here it just kind of, let's see if you can see that, comes out a bit. Being a pear shape or having a smaller, I'll show it to you here, having a smaller area to work with here compared to most people who, they're just, I'm just shaped differently. I have a pear shape. So my shoulders are actually a little bit narrower compared to what the pattern size would give for someone with a bigger like waistline or hip line. If I've even said that correctly. Basically, being a pear, my upper body is smaller than my lower body. There you go. And so when I see something like this, where it's kind of A-line shaped, it's like, you can do a lot with that. Because it really means, even though it goes back out this way, if I were to adjust the shoulders right here or narrow them in just a little bit, it usually gives me a pretty nice fit. So I was really happy to see that. All right. And then my treat was, okay, so some goodies that came in the mail this week for me, and I've shared this over on my Instagram page, was my Smart Knitting magazine. Now, this magazine is circa 1950s, and so I was really happy to have found a full knitting magazine from that era, not a digital download or something like that, but the actual original magazine. In addition, I found this Smart Crochet magazine, also circa 1950. And I found one more. I actually found 4, but I haven't gotten the last one yet in the mail. And hopefully that will come pretty soon. I'm hoping at some point to really go through these and share with you what's in them. I'm kind of excited about this. I don't think I'm going to start anything just yet. I'd have to do research on fabric and such because, of course, yarn, because, of course, because of the date of these, I'm pretty sure the yarn companies are either not making those yarns anymore, or, you know, things have changed, of course. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this. I'm really happy that these came in the mail and I got these. Okay, so that is it for me this week. I am very grateful for you guys to come and spend some time with me. I'm gonna still work on this for a while. I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet and stop, but if it does continue to take that much time away because I have other projects I want to work on, I may just have to call it a day. With that being said, if you enjoyed this content, and I'm hoping that you yourself was able to maybe learn something, or, you know, leave a comment down below and share something with me that, you know about full bust adjustments or fitting or patterns, and, you know, let's just share and learn from each other. Please subscribe, give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content, and please return again, right? Take care, you guys. Bye.